All right, good afternoon. It's 3:55 on a Monday and it's Holy Week. So, how many of you have plans this weekend, right? If you're going on a pilgrimage, if you're going on a vacation, let me know. And I might go to where you are like a stalker. I'm joking. So, today I just want to talk about the miracle morning. And it's interesting because while I've been thinking about ways to really help people get results in their life, and I tried. Ooh, love the topic, and I'm gonna assume this is Royce, a Facebook user, or something else. Hold on. I just want to make sure I, I have you open somewhere. But yeah, the miracle morning. Thank you. So I've basically the reason why I came up with this is that I've had trouble thinking of what is the best way to help people generate results. And honestly, the answer is proximity is power, right? So you need a team or a core group of people that also wanna get somewhere, that 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 can help you ascend your current circumstance and all of that. Oh, si Miss MJ pala, yun. So I was wrong. You're Miss MJ. So thank you for watching, Miss MJ. So it's so basically the assumption I had is okay, how do I create a program where I can make sure that people will get results, um, and guaranteed results. And while I was thinking of that, I'm like, you know what? Maybe maybe I'm thinking too much. I'm overcomplicating things. What's the basic of the basics that that I could on a personal level do better of or do more of that can enhance my life, uh, guaranteed in a month. So, and I remember the miracle morning, and I'm like, okay, so the miracle morning. So what is this thing about? So the miracle morning, and I'm just gonna read it over here, is a self-help routine that was created by an author by Hal Elrod, and it's a morning routine designed to help people start their day on a positive and productive note. And on a personal level, what is the miracle morning for me? I've I've had my one of my mentors, Blair. Blair will refuse to work with anyone who doesn't do this. So he performs at such a high level that he requires people to actually have this as a habit, not as a habit, rather than a what's the word I'm looking for? He requires it, but at the same time, it should be a habit of someone who is working for him or with him. Um, Bam, my late mentor, would also use the miracle morning as his last advice in his program Unbounded. So, and well, it really boils down to um, 6 practices that you can do every day to improve your way of life. However, here's the fun part. It's just 6 things you have to do every single day. It sounds very simple, and I can guarantee, if you do this every single day for 30 days, your life is gonna change. But if only it were that easy. Okay, so there's a there's a there's 6 practices for this, and the reason why I say it's hard is because it takes a lot of discipline to do. And honestly, if you do it alone, it might be very challenging because um, I've actually been on and off with this by myself. So proximity is power. So maybe, just maybe, If we can get people to do this more, then we'll see, right? And I'm gonna share with you guys some of the key concepts of this. That's what I'm looking for, self-help routine, and hopefully it could also help you, right? We don't have to be the peer group, but hopefully you can do this by yourself. So the 6 practices of the miracle morning, referred to as savers. Okay, your lifesavers. So S, and S stands for silence. Now, silence, it could be meditation, it could be a prayer, or simply sitting in silence to calm your mind. So when you wake up, here's the fun part. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing most people do? Okay? Chat in the comments if you know. Okay? But the first thing most people do when they wake up is usually they grab their phones and check their notifications. Who chatted me? Check their email. What's going on in life? Okay. So the problem with doing this is that sometimes it gets very reactive, and sometimes you will see or hear news that you don't really like. For example, imagine waking up and you're having financial problems, and the first thing you see on your phone is a notification that your payment is overdue. Okay? Imagine that. Yeah, phone, definitely. Thank you. Okay? Imagine waking up, you have financial problems, and then the first thing you see on your phone is a notification that says your bills are overdue. Or imagine that way you woke up and you hear bad news about someone you care about. Okay, so your phone, the phones already influence based on what happens on your phone. It already influences your mind. And the fun fact about your phones is that your phones, in a way, is already a form of addiction. So, sugar, cocaine, drugs, or whatever, um, may not be that bad compared to your telephone. Especially the fact that um, I, on a personal level, feel uncomfortable if my phone is away from me for too long. Of course, um, it's different if I'm in a business meeting. I prefer to be present, so I don't look at my phone at all. But on a regular basis, on a regular use, my phone is crazy, and it's connecting you to the grid in some way or form. The internet has allowed us to connect with everyone in the world, and we get real-time information, and sometimes the real-time information is also not good. Okay, now let's also put phones aside, and let's also talk about what if you live with other people. The moment that you woke up, you hear your friends or your family bugging you about working, about sleeping in, etc., etc. So, silence as the first step. Okay, silence could be as simple as when you wake up, you lie in bed, and you can just say, "Thank you." You can just say to God or the universe or whoever you believe in, "Thank you. Thank you for giving me this time. Thank you for um, just expressing gratitude for life." And there are lots of ways to do this. You can also meditate. Um, by meditation, there's a lot. There's Western, there's Eastern meditation. Um, but one thing I simply like to do whenever I meditate is I just breathe. Just practicing deep breaths. Just imagining uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Just counting down as I breathe, and as the number gets from 10 to 1, as the number gets lower, I just relax deeper and deeper, moving forward. So there's that. There's another form of meditation. Another form of meditation. This is really good for people who have who who think too much, like me. You just let your mind, whatever it is you're thinking about, you just let it flow. Bad thoughts, good thoughts, it doesn't matter. You just listen and let your mind wander for a minute or two. Okay? Some people meditate for 10 minutes, but 1 minute of meditation per day will change the way the way you perform that day. Okay? So sometimes meditation is just allowing what your mind wants you to see and hear and just separate yourself from whatever it is. And the moment that it passes, and because sometimes we have thoughts that we don't like, we have thoughts that we don't like or want to hear. And if we ignore it, sometimes it gets even louder and louder until we can't hear it anymore. A form of meditation is just listening. Thank you for sharing, and then letting it go. You know, or simply sit in silence. There's a there's a saying in spirituality where if you're able to stay silent for, and I have a and I have actually a friend who stayed silent for a week in a retreat in Thailand, and I honestly can't. I don't know how they're able to do that, you know. But basically, they spent an entire week on this monastery or island or whatever, and the only rule is that for 1 week you are not allowed to say anything, even when you're alone. You're not allowed to speak. So, um, and they say life changes from there. So there's that with silence. Next is affirmation. Positive statements that are repeated to yourself to reinforce a positive mindset. So, how many of you are so quick to give other people affirmation when they're feeling down, but don't give affirmation to yourself when you're feeling down? Okay? And that's interesting. So, here's the fun part. When you don't truly want something until you feel like you deserve it. You don't really want something until it's already in your hands. So, let's, for example, on the topic of money. On the topic of money, and on the topic of money, people who are not earning 6 figures, 7 figures per month are not earning that because in some way or form they don't feel like they deserve money. Oh, Sir Winchester, you're here. Thank you for watching. Okay? In some way or form, they feel like they don't deserve the money that they're going to receive. Okay? So they can't close the 6 figure client, they can't close the 7 figure client because there's something holding them back in their subconscious. Affirmations are the best way to actually start convincing yourself, and it doesn't even matter if it's true or not at the beginning. You know, sometimes you have to force yourself to tell yourself, I love you, or I forgive you, or you're right where you're supposed to be. You know, sometimes you have to do that until eventually a day will come where the positive statements that you really need become true. And finding the right positive statement is actually sorry, excuse me, is also a skill. Because again, let's go back to that things that are holding you back. Sometimes it's not really obvious. It could be a label, it could be a title, it could be something that sounds nice. For example, I'm not uh, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna ask this woman on a date because I might just hurt her. I don't want to see my son because it will probably just cause us pain. You might be trying to be a hero, you know? You might be trying to be a hero, and well, sometimes you have to remember that you can actually get what you want without a consequence at all. You know, and you have to be okay with that. All right, and I have 10 minutes. So that's let's go with affirmations. And you need affirmations if your life is full of shit. You probably need affirmation. Next, visualization. You need to visualize your goals and aspirations to help you stay motivated. Visualization and actually seeing it, and it helps with goal setting because it helps set the tone. It helps prepare you into accepting. It helps prepare you to receive what you want in life. So by visualizing, and sometimes the visualization could be for for beginners, visualization could be something goal related. It could be something related to what your next goal is. And we actually have a program that can help you with that, with finding that out, but that's on a different day. So just visualizing your goals, visualizing what it's gonna feel like once you receive it. How's your life gonna change after that, etc., etc. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? When you visualize your goals, you know. And the fun part about visualization is that you can actually do this during silence. Actually, it's a good thing to do all three at once in a way. So, and it's crazy. All right. But the point here is that when you visualize the the when you visualize, sometimes it's not just your goals. Sometimes you can actually visualize universal intention, right? The intention of the universe and your goals, and merge it into one thing. So there's also that concept. And which brings us to E, right? Exercise. This is one of the biggest reasons why I actually did not apply savers into my life. I did not want to exercise. I still don't. How many of you can feel me? You know, life is just too much, and sometimes exercise is so boring and repetitive that I end up overthinking anyway. You know, it's crazy. But here's what changed. You know, when I started exercising, my energy went up. You know, confidence went up. At the very least, if I'm not where I want to be in terms of relationships, in terms of money, in terms of career, in terms of spirituality, at least by starting to exercise, I am now starting to do the first form of self-love, right? Taking care of myself. So at the very least, I am worthy of existing because I'm taking care of myself. And sometimes the exercise, and guys, when you say exercise, you don't have to exercise 2 hours in a day to start. You can actually just start by walking. Okay? See the energy, yeah, thank you, Sir Win, right? So you can actually just start by walking. And that's where I started. I started with walks every day. So, and we're lucky in Iloilo, we have a very wide esplanade for walking. And there's also a gym where I'm at, so it's easy for me. So, you know, physical activity to help you wake up and energize your body. And energy is power. You know, energy is power. How you show up, how much you learn, how much you're able to give and support other people relies so much on energy. And you know, one day my goal by next year, I'm gonna go hike Kilimanjaro. So uh, that's where my goals are gonna be. Next, reading. So this is actually this is actually the funnest part, because when I was starting out in business, I would have time to read books, and I would finish 3 books in a week. Yet life happened, and now it actually there was even an entire year where I never read a single book ever. You know, life happens. So I was too focused on business in life and other stuff, and I was not able to read. So, and you know what? This form of reading does, and then I realized, you know what? This form of reading doesn't even have to be a book. It doesn't have to be a book. I could just write, I could read about blogs or scientific journals from credible sources, and and that's enough. Learning something new or reading something inspirational, something that's gonna open your mind to possibilities, and for and in the age of AI, where there are literally tools out there designed to help your life get better, designed to help you make decisions faster. Reading is going to allow you to maximize the potential. Audiobooks and podcasts. But in this case, okay, reading specifically. Why? Because it's a discipline. Audiobooks and podcasts for you, sometimes it's easy for people to zone out. Sometimes it's easy for you to ignore the auditory. Okay? By reading, you use all three senses. You see, you feel, you hear. Well, at least you hear yourself mentally, hopefully. So, it's a discipline. The reason why you need to read is so that you are disciplined. Lifesavers is nothing more than a discipline. So that's why you have to do it daily, right? You have to do this thing daily because it's a discipline. It's not just a routine, but it's something that you have to force yourself to do. And if you're able to do this, kudos, man, because shit, your willpower is higher than most people. And of course, the last one is scribing. So you're writing, you're journaling, or you're reflecting your thoughts and feelings. If you want to be articulate with your ideas, the first step you have to do is you have to just mind dump everything in writing. There was a time where I used iPads as my journals, but long story short, old school pen and paper still work. Okay, and there is nothing beats old school pen and paper. You know, um, just having a place for you to be able to scribe whatever is happening in your brain, it helps it organize. Okay, some people love to use mind maps, but for me right now, as a just as a discipline, I just write whatever pops into my head, no expectations, and whether I like what I hear or see or not, I just do. I just write and just let it be. Now, what happens here is that by writing, you're not writing your ideas perfectly. You're allowing your mind to flow and explore the ideas. And once everything has been done, that's when you organize. Okay? If you need to organize. If not, then that's also fine, right? So most people, when they scribe, they can't scribe because they're leaning towards perfection. They want to perfect the mind dump of information, which is dumb, because the reason why you're dumping everything is because your mind needs to process the information. It's not for you to make a book out of your ideas. It's for you to be able to fully comprehend what those are. And hence, the 6 practices of the miracle morning. Now, I have an inkling to start this. I started today, and I don't know, and I'll be very honest, I don't know up to when I'll be able to keep this up. So proximity is power. Your peer group, you you know, if I'm gonna do this alone, I'm probably gonna quit by next week. Okay? But if I can get 10 people to join me on this routine, then that's gonna be something else. So how we're gonna do that, stand by. I'm still processing how we can move forward with this. So I leave you guys with this. See you guys next time.